Hello there, everybody. This is Inu Master here, and I'm bringing you something a little bit different. As many of you, well, I don't know about many of you, not many people watch this, but I'm very excited for a very big reason. About 2 weeks ago, E3 happened, and they announced something spectacular. And by the video showing, I'm pretty sure you can know what it was. They announced Kingdom Hearts 3, and man, I went crazy. I literally jumped up and yelled, yes, 7 years, and finally, they actually come out and say, hey, we're making Kingdom Hearts 3. It, I was lost for words for a very long time. And I've been in a very Kingdom Hearts mood. I've been listening to all the music again, I've been going through the games, and I decided I would make one of these. They're actually coming out with Kingdom Hearts HD collections, 1.5 and 2.5. 2.5 hasn't been announced yet, but we're pretty sure it's in the making. And they're doing that to get new people into the series to get ready for this game, because it's supposed to be the end of the saga, the Xehanort saga, and they're doing that to get new people in the game and old players to get back into it, to go through it all and catch up again. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be playing all the games again. I'm going to be going through it all, and I'm going to be making videos of each one, walkthroughs, I guess you could say, or playthroughs of it, and I'm going to be explaining throughout every video what's happening. But I'm not able to show PSP games, and I'll just say the order of the games right now. The order of the games as of now is Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, Kingdom Hearts 1, Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days, Kingdom Hearts 2, Kingdom Hearts Recoded, and Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance. And I'm going to go through the ones that I can play, which would be Kingdom Hearts 1, Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, Kingdom Hearts 2, and I'll try and work the other ones in if I can. Like, I know they made Recoded, and I don't have that one, but I'm sure I can find it and get it. And I'm going to play those games, and while I do that, I'm also going to be showing, I'm going to be going back and forth, like, going back showing why this happened, how this happened. So while I'm going to be showing similarities and like making it all connect together. But since I'm not able to do Birth by Sleep, I thought instead I'd just make a video like this where I explain all of it, where I go through Birth by Sleep and I say what it's all about, and that way there's some background in there and you know where it's happening. So I'm going to be having clips of what I think are the main scenes in Birth by Sleep, and it's going to be showing you the plot behind it and everything. So big spoilers here if you're actually going to be playing the games again. But if you're not going to plan on playing the games, then you should definitely watch this. It's a great way to get into the game, and I'm going to be explaining as much as I can. Once again, I don't think I know everything about the game. Most of my information I actually research up, and I look through the different forums like KH Forum, Kingdom Hearts Insider, different forums like that, and I look up all these explanations, the wikis, and all that stuff. So I think I'm kind of well versed in it right now. But so first thing we're going to do is get into Birth by Sleep, and I'm going to do the whole story of Birth by Sleep. This might be taking 2 episodes, but I'm not 100% sure. I have a lot of video of it, but let's start from the beginning. game starts off with the main character being dropped off on an island. His name is Ventus. He's being dropped off by a named Master Xehanort. We don't know what happened to him. All we know is that he's very injured and on the brink of death. We see that his heart has been fractured and is actually kind of like destroyed. But then a light calls out to him and says, "I'm here. Do you need help?" And he helps him and makes his heart whole again. Because of this, Ventus lives, but we don't know exactly where this light came from. All we know is that it saved his life. We then see the three main characters. We have Ventus, Aqua, and Terra. They're all Keyblade wielders, and they're all under the same master, Master Ericus. We find out that Terra and Aqua are about to go under the Mark of Mastery exam. This is an exam where they test to see if they are ready to become masters of the Keyblade. Now Aqua and Terra are going to fight. During the fight, Terra actually loses a bit of control and darkness seeps out from him. Both Master Xehanort and Ericus notice this. Because of this, Terra does not pass the exam, and only Aqua has now become a master. After the exam, we find Master Xehanort walking down a corridor and then talking to a masked man. We know that Master Xehanort has already adapted into the darkness, so we know that there's something off about him, and we can only assume that this masked man is also in darkness because of that. At this point, all three people have split up. Terra, distraught about not passing the exam, goes out to how to control his darkness. Aqua is told by Master Ericus to go bring back Terra and Ventus, because Ventus ran off because the masked man actually talked to him, saying that Terra is going to change, and worried about his friend, he goes off to save him. And Terra was being called by Master Xehanort to this area. In this, Master Xehanort explains that it's his fault that Ventus was injured, and he explains what happened. Ventus was actually training under Master Xehanort before Ericus, and he put him through too much training, and he had to take the darkness out of Ventus's heart to save him. And this darkness is actually the masked boy, he says. This is only half true at this point, but it is true that he took out the darkness in his heart, and it's the reason that in the beginning of the game, Ventus's heart is shattered or fractured, because the darkness was taken out of it, and that darkness formed a one being, which is now known as Vanitas. In this scene, Aqua just saved a girl that she says has much light coming from her. We find out that this girl's name is Kairi. She will be very important in the other games. And a big scene in this is when she tells her, when Aqua puts a charm on her, she says that if your heart shall ever like fall into darkness, your heart will call out to another's for safekeeping. This is very important, and I'll come back to this later on throughout a playthrough. This next scene is just for people who already know the game. We meet a man named Lee and Issa. Well, Ventus meets a man named Lee and Issa. These are the original people that we will then see later on in the game series. Once again, I'll come back to this point when it makes more sense. Here's another very important scene. Terra has been led to a place called Destiny Island. This is actually the island that Ventus was going to be left on in the very beginning of the game. He meets two kids here named Sora and Riku. He senses a great light from Riku and then talks to him about what he wants to do, and like if he wants to go to other worlds and whatnot. And he says he wants to grow stronger and protect the things that he cares about, such as his friends. Terra, seeing almost himself in Riku, decides to give him goes through this ritual that actually says that Riku will one day become a Keyblade wielder. And what he does is, he does this little ritual where he says this little poem, I guess you can say, and Riku takes a hold of his Keyblade. And this basically says that later on in his life he will become a Keyblade wielder, and then he can test to become a master at it. We also see Aqua come to the exact same place, and she also sees Sora and Riku. She's thinking the same idea, that she feels the light coming from both of them, and that she's going to give the Keyblade to one of them, but then she realized that Riku has already had it. She can sense it from him. So she thinks Terra's already been here,
One of
and she
you
decides to
might be
not
special
to
enough.
give it to Sora because she thinks that only one Keyblade
Hey,
is good enough for one friendship because of the
you two
difficulties
mind
that they
telling me
went
your
through,
names?
what they just
I'm
went through
Flora.
because only she became a
And
master
you?
and Terra did not.
Riku.
We now see the truth about what Master Xehanort said. He did take the darkness out of Ventus's heart, but what he was doing, he actually explains his full plot, which is the complete plot of the game. He took out the darkness in Ventus's heart so that the two could then clash and form the Keyblade. I don't want to get people mixed up with saying Keyblade and this blade because they're completely different. I'm just gonna say X-Blade because that's the symbol that they use. He fully explains that he wants the X-Blade to come about again because he believes that another Keyblade Ward will happen, and he wants the world to be driven into darkness once again, thinking that since the last time this happened, the world that they live in now, the realm of light they call it, he wonders what will happen if darkness happens again. What will be created this time? So that's his whole goal: to forge the Keyblade, the X-Blade, I'm sorry, and to send the world into darkness. That way it can be reborn and a new creation can come about from it. Ventus now realizes who he is. He runs back to Ericus, who also understood this and was keeping him under guard, which is why he never let him go anywhere. And Ventus confronts him about it. Ericus saying that he has nothing left to, he has nothing left to like withstand or hold, or to, he feels like he feels like he has to take away Ventus so that the X-Blade can no longer be formed. Before he's able to do it, Terra shows up. Terra shows up and he protects Ventus and sends him away to he actually sends him to Destiny Island, but that doesn't happen right now. And at this scene, Terra fights Master Ericus. The two fight. Terra releases the darkness inside of him and actually beats Master Ericus, where he then is lost. I don't want to say he's killed because dying in this game is very different than what we think, but for all intents and purposes, he is now gone. But as of now, he is gone. And then this is just a scene showing us that what happened, like what happened to Ventus. So it's showing that at first, Master Xehanort was trying to bring out the darkness by challenging him and to give in by himself. He is unable to. He doesn't do it. And this leads Master Xehanort only to do it himself and unleash the darkness within, forming Vanitas. All three of Aqua, Ventus, and Terra show up at a place called the Keyblade Graveyard to confront Master Xehanort and Vanitas. During the fight, Terra jumps right at Master Xehanort. Ventus is actually grabbed by Xehanort and is frozen and thrown off the cliff. And while Terra is fighting Master Xehanort, Xehanort sends Vanitas to kill Aqua and then clash with Ventus to form the X-Blade. When Terra sees this happening and not being able to like just go past Master Xehanort and help his friend, he's enraged and he completely gives himself over to darkness, which is actually all part of Master Xehanort's plan. So then Vanitas then comes down, knocks out Aqua, and is about to kill her, I guess you can say. And Roxas is able to shake off the freeze and then fights Vanitas. The two, Ventus is able to defeat him, and what happens then is, since Vanitas is still technically Ventus's heart, because it's the darkness inside of the darkness that was inside of Ventus. Once he defeats him, the two merge together, and with this formation, the X-Blade is then formed because it was pure darkness, which is pure light. And that was Master Xehanort's plan all along, was to have these two clash, the pure light, pure darkness, to form the X-Blade. Now that it's formed, Master Xehanort sees that his plan has succeeded. At this point, he then initiates the second part of his plan. He actually releases his own heart, his own darkness, and his being, basically. And because of Terra's opening to the darkness, he's able to send his heart into Terra's body and take control of it. This was Master Xehanort's plan all along. He wanted to get into a new body so that he could be, because he realized that he wasn't going to live forever. He needed a new body to continue his research and to continue living. So he did all this to make Terra succumb to the darkness so he then take over his body. So he's able to do that. The only problem is his heart's been taken over by the darkness, his body is now controlled by Master Xehanort, but his mind is still, it's his mind that still is like fighting him at this point. And he's able, I don't fully understand how this happens, but in the game you play as Terra's armor and you fight Terra's body, which is controlled by Xehanort, and most people call it at this point Terranaut, and I'll use that just for reference right now. The two fight, and in the game you're able to defeat Terranaut, and Terranaut's knocked out, and the armor just like falls back to the ground, or like doesn't really submit, but kneels to the ground, and that's it. Back to Vanitas. The Keyblade was formed, and Vanitas is now in control of Ventus, and he's now going to fight Aqua. On the inside, though, Vanitas is still struggling to control the heart with Ventus still there. Ventus is fighting for control over his body and his heart, and once the two formed, they technically became the X-Blade, and so Ventus' only thought is, I must destroy this blade, but Vanitas then tells him, you do realize that if you destroy me and the blade, then you're also destroying your own heart, you will also die. And he says whatever it takes. So the two clash it out inside, I guess, basically inside themselves, and once again, Ventus is able to do it. Beating Vanitas and destroying the blade, you see Vanitas like disintegrate or plate into light, and the same thing happens to Ventus, and you see his heart fade away. Aqua and Ventus are blown away from the explosion happens, of course. I mean, there has to be an explosion. Explosion happens when the blade is destroyed, hitting Terranaut, which is Xehanort inside Terra's body. The armor stays there. The armor doesn't get flung away. The armor stays in that area. And it hits Aqua and Ventus, and they're blown off of the planet. Mickey saves Aqua and Ventus, and takes them to his master, which is then Sid. And here he explains what happened to Ventus. He says that Ventus's heart is sleeping. It's basically roaming on its own, looking for a path of light. It's like in the realm of darkness, I guess you can say, but it's basically traveling, looking for someone to believe in it and to go to. This is very important. I'll get to this very soon enough. While that's happening, Aqua has to find a place to keep Ventus's body before he wakes, until he wakes, which could be a while. We don't know exactly how they're going to wake him yet. But so she goes back to their homeworld. After Terra beat Eraqus, Master Xehanort showed up and actually destroyed the world. We see that, and when this happened, a little scene goes on telling, where Eraqus told Aqua what to do if the world was ever going to be taken over by darkness, and what she should do. So she uses Master Eraqus's blade on the world to change it, and it changes into this new castle where she then stores Ventus's body until he's able to wake. Now, Terranaut's body was blown away, and we didn't know where it was, but she can feel Terra calling out to her to come finish him off. basically. So it leads her to an area. It leads him to him, and the two fight. Aqua is able to beat him. Aqua is able to beat him to a point where Terra is trying to take control of his body again, and so while he's trying to take control of his body, he uses the Keyblade on himself to release his heart, to release it from to release it from its control, from what's called Xehanort's control. And when he does this, the darkness flows in, and he's sept into darkness, and he's going to be lost in darkness forever. But Aqua jumps. He does this so that he basically can't harm anyone. He wants Xehanort to be gone forever. But Aqua runs in after him and sacrifices herself to save him. So Aqua jumps in, pushes him out, and now she's lost in darkness, body and heart. So she's in the darkness, and Terranot is back in the real world. But because of what Terra did, he's now in somewhat control, and Terranot lost all his memory. He doesn't know that he's Xehanort. He doesn't know anything. And that's also because of the black being like knocked out and whatnot, and being blown away. He just has amnesia. At least I'm pretty sure that's how it is. I mostly think it's because Terra's trying to take control, but that's why Terranot can't remember who he is. He can't remember that he's Xehanort. Because of the conflict going in between him, he's keeping Xehanort at bay so that he can't do all his plans. Now, back on Destiny Island, we see Sora and Riku again. Sora starts crying, and Riku says it's probably because someone out there is really hurting and needs your help. You should open your heart. Sora opens his heart to this person, and it is now that we realize that in the very beginning of the game, that light that came to Ventus was actually Sora. He was they're on the same island. He said that he saw the light that Ventus's heart was putting out, and he followed. Sora's heart followed it. He then helped repair Ventus's heart, and the two were then connected at that point. This is why Ventus's heart then comes to Sora again. Ventus's heart, like I said, was lost because he destroyed Vanitas and the X-Blade, and so it was just roaming in darkness basically. But it was able to find Sora's light, and it traveled to Sora, and Sora then takes in Ventus's heart. Now, this is a huge monumental moment. There's like, in about 3 of the games that come to mind right now, there are these huge moments. This is one of those humongous moments. I'll be coming back to this near the end of the first game I'll be playing. But so Vanitas is now inside Sora's heart, and he stays there until he can be awakened, which we still don't know how that's gonna happen. Now this is the end, the secret ending. We see Terra talking to Xehanort inside himself. This is happening within Terra's body, and we realize that Eraqus is actually inside Terra also. Like, his heart is there too. When Eraqus died, he went inside Terra to try and help him, to be there for him. At least that's what I'm pretty sure is being said, because Xehanort says Eraqus is there. You'll see. But so that's going on there. Terra says that he will not give up, and he will never let Xehanort take over his body, and he will do whatever it takes to make sure that he is destroyed. Xehanort says though that he already has plans set in motion, that he is one of many that he has set. So we know that there's other things to come from him. We also see, we then come to Aqua. Aqua is traveling in darkness because she sacrificed herself. She's about ready to give up, but then remembering her friends, Ven and Terra, she keeps going on. And she actually comes, while roaming the realm of darkness, she comes to find a man in a black hood who tells her that he's been here for a while and everything that he's done. And he also tells about how He also tells about
Who
how
are you?
the world has been twice now almost fell into darkness, and that a boy has saved it both times with a Keyblade.
Please, tell me,
Instantly, she
Aqua.
thinks it's either Terra or Ventus. He
Why are you
says, no,
sitting
that
here
is
all
neither of
alone
them.
in the realm
The
of
boy's
darkness?
name was Sora.
How did you end up here?
Well,
Aqua
I can tell you
remembers
this
this
is my second
boy
time on these
and
shores,
knows,
but unfortunately,
and
much
she
like
feels
the
something
first,
from it.
I do not remember who I am or whence I came.
It's a now this
Everything
this
was
scene doesn't
washed
really make
away
sense at this
in
point
whatever
because
currents carried me
you have to
here.
see the other things. Once again, this is one of the things I'll have to come
That's
back
too
to.
bad.
But in general, to go over
I
everything,
know I've been here a long time,
to like summarize this whole game,
wandering through the
basically
endless
it's about
hours,
it's about
unable to
all these
escape.
connections. This game was made to connect all the games that have
You
come
wish
out
to
at this
return to your
it,
own world?
and these scenes will probably make a lot more sense. The main gist of what to get is that
It's my
Ventus
friends.
is now inside Sora's heart.
I
Ventus's heart is
promised
now
I'd be
within
there
Sora,
for them.
because of what happened.
Your
And
friends.
Xehanort is in Terra's body, which is now
Xehanort.
doing research with a man named Ansem the Wise. He's the blonde-haired
Quickly,
man
get
that
him to the castle.
found Terra
You can count
after
on me.
he was after Aqua saved him.
Dylan, get those for me.
Aqua is in the realm of darkness, waiting to be saved, and that's what happened to them. And now we can start with the beginning. Kingdom Hearts.